Hi, I'm Benjamin Callan. I'm originally from Austin, Texas, now Dallas, Texas, and I started working with Nicole in the Rise to the Masculine 6-month container program to help figure out why I had not gotten back out into the dating scene after being divorced for 8 years and needed to find a way to have an intimate relationship in my life again and start reaching out into the world again, and hadn't really felt like doing that. And we dove a lot into my past, and I learned a lot about myself. So it was a really great thing. I'm really happy I did it. Cole is a very easy person to talk to. I have had a lot of counseling. I've seen a lot of therapists. My mom is actually a psychologist who does hypnotherapy and child play therapy, and my sister runs an organization called Pathways that is all about finding yourself. And my dad's an attorney, and I joke and say I grew up really understanding my feelings and really knowing how to talk about them. But that didn't mean that I was really connected to them. And that was what I really found different about Nicole. She really got into the depth of it. And for me, I just moved back from living in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I knew all the rah-rah, go get 'em new age stuff that you could know, and that didn't really connect either. And so this was sort of bringing the spiritual world into the emotional world for me, and it really made a big difference in the way I look at things overall. I had a lot of issues from my past that I had buried and not dealt with, that I thought I was over, but I wasn't. And they were affecting the way that I made decisions every day and the way that I related to people every day. I guess I've heard them called, cognitive beliefs or negative tapes I've heard used. But I had a lot of things that I was bringing into conversations and into relationships that didn't belong there. And it was the realizing that I needed to figure out these things about myself before I was ready to meet someone. It really felt spiritual to me as much as it felt relationship based. I chose to come in working on my masculine because I didn't fit in with female relationships, and what I learned really throughout the process was my real problem was that I didn't have good relationships with other men. They weren't really possible. Men kind of lived with their shields up all the time, and I never had respect for that. I thought the manly, boys will be boys stuff was weak, not strong, and consequently never had relationships with men my entire life. And all of my relationships were with women, whether friendship or romantic, and it's really expanded the way that I think about my relationships in general, not just my romantic relationship. Vince and I, my best friend, who we've been best friends for 35 years, our relationship has gotten better because of it. That's been amazing. And I've started reaching out and talking to more men when I'm in public rather than always being women because they feel safe. And that can get misconstrued as you're trying to pick up on them all the time when it's really just friendship. But so it puts me in a more comfortable position in the world in general to be able to be friends with both sexes or whatever your orientation may be. I don't really care about that. I just want to be friends with people. And I figured out that I was really looking at things from a one-sided point of view. And I had shut my masculine off completely because I was taught that it was bad and wrong. And then I had experienced, from bullying to you name it, I had experienced it being bad and wrong. And so standing up for myself felt like a negative, and I hadn't done it in years. And it's nice to feel like I have myself back. Maybe that's really what it was all about. It was about the relationship with myself more than my relationship with other people. A life changer. It was different in every way. I'm back in counseling now, but with a younger counselor that is much more, and it's from my PTSD from the military, but he's able to talk to me in a much different way. It's a male counselor, and I've never been able to do that before. He's very young and understanding, and it's changed even the way that I talk to my psychiatrist in the military, the way that I talk to my doctors for my medical issues. It's caused me to have a belief and a faith in myself that I didn't have before, and a need and a adamancy about demanding that people treat me the way I deserve to be treated, but without being angry about it anymore. So I lost the anger, but got more respect, and that's interesting. I feel like I was in a place where I was beaten down, and at the same time sort of trying to demand the respect I knew I deserved, but never getting it. And now I feel much more relaxed. I feel calm. I feel secure inside myself. And I definitely am anxious and want a romantic relationship in my life, but that's no longer the focus or the fear. It's just being able to communicate with people and and not feel alone the way that I have my whole life. I felt like I got more out of it than I thought I was going to get out of it. I feel like I get more out of it every day when I have new realizations about the work that we did, because it was pretty intense and fairly hypnotic in some ways. So a lot of things come back to me later on, and I feel like I'm going to keep growing from it, and I actually plan to come back and do another course of some sort as soon as possible. The program itself it was very unique. It was a lot like my PTSD training was, where we went through 10 sessions in a specific order, but this was really about systematically going through and finding those things that were holding me back and that were bothering me. So in that way it was very meditative, and it just worked in a different way than other things were. It was congruent. It made me feel like I was going through a process, and it had a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it had a purpose. And now I've got it like almost taking a course in school. I've got something that I'm able to go back and look at and study and relearn from in an ongoing way. You know, my mom is, like I said, is a therapist, and has been doing this many years, and she and I talked about it a lot, and she was the one who encouraged me to keep going with it. And I talked with her about the training that I did a lot, and definitely I'm looking forward to doing more for myself. And I would recommend Nicole to any family or friends that need anything in their life that would enrich it, from feeling better about yourself to feeling better about your personal relationships you already have to finding new relationships. I truly adore and love Nicole. She is the best thing I ever did for myself.